Turning our attention now to a wonderful initiative by the Australian Test cricket great Greg Chappell. This is his Chappell Foundation, which is trying to deal and help with the scourge of homelessness. Last night he held the Sports Stars Sleep Out at the SCG, raising money for their cause. I spoke to Greg Chappell earlier this morning. Greg Chappell, thanks for your time. This is such a worthy cause and such a great initiative. How did the night go?
Oh, Kieran, thank you very much. The night went very well. It was a clear night, so probably a bit colder than we would have liked, but it's a small price to pay to raise the awareness for what I think is a huge problem in Australia with so many homeless youth. So to raise some money and to raise some awareness is really what it's about, and to have so many athletes here with us to share the experience, it's been quite humbling.
Can you give us a sense of what athletes, what sports stars participated, and can people still donate?
Yes, we had quite a few from cricket, obviously. A lot of the New South Wales men's and women's players joined us. Louise Savage from Paralympics. We had Kerry O'Keefe, our old sparring partner. My brother Trevor is here as well. So I think across a range of sports, from Brad Fittler, of course, from Rugby League, joined us. So we had a good group, some of us older ones and quite a few of the young ones. And the opportunity is there for people, if they want to support us in this week of homelessness, is go to sportstarsleepout.com and we would welcome their funds.
As most of us cricket lovers were enjoying the final day of the first test from the warmth of our living rooms, you were there, and I guess it was a reminder of the scourge of homelessness in this country, and you did this at, of all places, the SCG.
Yeah, well, it was an appropriate place. We did have the cricket on later in the evening, and we got a great deal of enjoyment out of watching the success of the Australian team. But I can tell you, this is not something that you'd want to do every night, and there are a lot of people in this country, and particularly young people in this country, who are doing it every night, and I can promise you not many of them would be doing it by choice. So if we can help put one person's life back on track, it'll be worth the effort.
Can you remind our viewers about the start of the Chappell Foundation and the inspiration to target this issue, this problem of homelessness?
Yeah, I've been involved in a number of charities through the years, but one of my friends, Darshak Mehta, who'd been chairman of the LBW Trust, he and I were having a chat one time, and he suggested that we do something in the Chappell name, and with the support of my brothers, we set up the Chappell Foundation. And when we thought about, what cause we would, want to be raising funds for, I thought back to the years I was living in Melbourne, about 5 years ago, and living in East Melbourne, just opposite the Fitzroy Gardens, and I used to go into the gardens each morning for some exercise, and I was appalled at the number of people that actually slept rough in the gardens. And the middle of winter in Melbourne's not a great place to be sleeping outdoors, and so it really was a no-brainer for me. In a country as affluent as ours, that we've got more than 44,000 under 25-year-old Australians sleeping rough is unacceptable, and if we can make a difference by raising awareness and raising funds, we're happy to do it. And we're a ghost charity. We don't have any overheads. We're all volunteers, and every cent that's raised goes to the cause. So we're very proud of what we've been able to achieve in just over 2 years, and very grateful to some of our big supporters. One of our patrons, John Singleton, came to our annual dinner this year, and at the end of which he gave me a pledge card for $1 million, and that really makes a huge difference in this space.
Well, we wish you all the best with this very worthwhile endeavour with the Chappell Foundation, but it would be remiss of me not to ask you about the result in that first test, and as one of the Australian selectors yourself, and it really was the story of the redemption of Stephen Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, it was a huge game for Steve, a huge game for the Australian team. Steve was the standout, and what a genius he is with a bat in his hand. He really dominated this game, and it wasn't easy batting even from the start of the game. It was pretty challenging, and he made it look quite simple. So that really made a big difference. But the bowlers did a great job in the first innings, and of course finished it off last night. So as well as Steve, I think all of the guys can stand up and be very proud of what they were able to achieve. But bear in mind, it's only 1 of 5, so a little bit more work to do yet.
It's fair to say there were quite a few surprised people at the fact that Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazlewood were overlooked in the first test. Is this a vindication for the selectors' decision there?
Well, we're not worried about vindication. We like to see the boys win. I mean, it's a 5-test series. We've got 5 test matches in 6.5 weeks. You know, that's virtually 5 marathons for the fast bowlers in 6.5 weeks. So we weren't going to be able to get them all through all 5 games. So we obviously looked at the facilities and the conditions and so on and tried to work out the best attack for that test match. And obviously when the second one starts, we'll be doing the same thing there.
Greg Chappell, thanks very much for your time. And a reminder to our viewers, you can still donate to the Sports Stars Sleep Out via the Chappell Foundation website. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Kieran. It's my pleasure.